Happy New Year, Rajan. How are you doing? You gotta throw some in there. They had a little crying emotes with us now, so we have that one too. Can you guys hear me good? I'm floating along. I don't know. I haven't been feeling that well, so I'm like only getting on for mod stuff and then getting off my phone. Okay, that's good. But I'll look through my messages for yours. It might have got buried in some of the stuff. I tend to get when it goes through my Facebook page, it'll notify me better. Oh, I am so sorry. I completely forgot, hun. I have it written down, but it's in my book in here, and I've been in bed. But yeah, I'll definitely try to get that to you either today or Wednesday, because Tuesdays are my like crazy days. But I definitely feel better today than I have the past couple days. But yeah, I'm gonna do the daily transits. Yeah, I'm trying to get better with that. I started making myself fruit shakes again too with different things to try to help my energy and my system. But I'm drinking lots of water too. But yeah, I'm gonna do today's transits for you guys, and then I'm gonna do a pick a card for the new year, like a forecast. So I don't know what can show up in there because it's just, I mean, anything that can happen throughout the year, I guess. So I guess go with whatever you're pulled to on that one because there might actually be different messages in different piles for real on it being a forecast instead of a weekly. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about some of this energy today. Definitely gonna be feeling very wonky with our energy today. Seeing how some of this is actually sitting in 12th house energy and kind of just like, literally what you said, Rajan, just kind of floating with it, literally. Plus, we still have this group going around with each other over here. but this time it's kind of having more of a spiritual, like, learning energy as opposed to being so focused on health. What's interesting is there's actually a very tight conjunction between Mercury and Pluto right now at 24 degrees. So even though this is in Capricorn, I mean, obviously it's going to make it feel like a little more. It's like people are going to want to be talking about their aspirations and their goals and things that they want to do, but it's like more on a deeper level. It's something that it's like the people that are wanting to communicate these things and the goals that they're going after is because they know it's going to bring a huge transformation where either spirituality or how they actually like view the world through their own philosophies, or even if people are like in college studying like different topics, this is going to be an energy that really makes you want to dive a lot deeper than just surface level, because it's really going to change up and in a way give like a new light to how you think in those areas. But you also, it's collective energy, we also have the conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius in there as well. So this is as you're learning to communicate and think on these levels, it's almost like Saturn and Jupiter is kind of ripping through it and trying to tear it up and make it like a big revolution energy. And this, like, even though this Pluto might show on a more personal level and getting down to your own what you need to do, it's going to be something seen collectively, because I don't know if you guys have actually noticed it or not, but there's been a lot more talk about deeper subjects lately when it comes to a lot of internet things. Like, people are wanting to have deeper conversations, they're wanting to learn, and if they're not, it's very apparent and they come off very brash and very angry. And that's because there is this square between Mars and this Pluto Mercury energy, and it's a pretty tight square. So it's making it to where we can be a little irrational with this information and trying to communicate it, especially since this is tying in the 12th house energy. It's almost like, yes, we're having to go along with what we're learning right now. And this degree is also the 29th degree with Mars, so it's almost like that should have learned, gained some wisdom through this entire year of Mars being in Aries, pretty much. And it's like kind of accumulating that into I don't know if I'm saying things correctly right now, but it's accumulated all this energy that you should have learned from, and now it's squaring off against these energies where it's almost like creating ambition for trying to communicate these things, even though it might seem kind of murky, especially since it's in this 12th house energy, and a lot of times our subconscious thoughts are very hard to sift through. But this could also mean that there's very sporadic energy bursts we're having or that we're losing, but it's being made up in the sense that we're being pulled to rest, but we're probably having very let me see how I can put this, especially with this Uranus in there in Taurus. It's almost like these very unexpected dreams. They bring us this new information very rapidly, like very quick paced with this Aries energy. It's like making me think of Knight of Wands energy, where it's literally like just bringing this in very quickly. It can make people impatient also with others when they're trying to communicate these things and they're hitting brick walls. The best thing I can say, that since this is a square and it's like a challenge, is to learn what you're going to learn. If people are really like bulking against what you're saying, what you're communicating, more likely than not, what's happening right now is it's pushing you to find people you connect with. Because, like I was saying, there's a lot of things that are changing on the internet right now with this Aquarius energy. And having Chiron over here being in this 11th house, which is also Aquarian energy, is showing this healing that's coming from these communities and forming these friendships. Um, and it's forming a sextile right now between this Saturn Jupiter conjunction. It's not showing it because Chiron usually doesn't show up unless you make it, but that makes a zillion lines, and it's better for me just to point it to you guys. But having this tight conjunction being sextile by this healing energy, like I was saying, this is very connected 11th house energy. If like you're forming friendships right now, it's to help you heal through situations. If certain friendships are falling apart, it's almost like having that sextile gives a little bit of cushion. It's almost like it allows for a little gentleness to come through, because Jupiter can bring a benevolence and a gentleness to certain situations. And since this is through healing, if we're patient with ourselves, especially having this Neptune energy up here in the 11th house, it's trying to make us have more compassion with what certain people are going through. And it's forming its own sextiles to the energies that Mars is squaring right now and making it difficult for us to communicate. So, using both of these energies with understanding the relationships and how they're healing us, and having compassion and understanding that certain worlds just can't connect. And that's kind of the reality a lot of us are having to face right now, because breaking down that illusion of pretty much what the internet has put up, and it's trying to, for some people it's lifting the veil, for others it's just really spiraling them further into delusion right now. So that's why it's going to be so hard to communicate with others, especially through friendships, communities, and internet right now. But if you're with like-minded people and they're helping to, let me see, if they're helping you to learn to communicate these things, and they're not afraid of the deep topics that you're